In 1990, the world watched Sean Connery command a submarine the size of an aircraft carrier in The Hunt for Red October. It was a great movie, but the scariest part wasn't the fiction. It was the reality. The Soviet Union actually built a submarine that big. It was called Project 941 Akula Shark. NATO called it the Typhoon. It is the largest submarine ever built. It is longer than the Washington Monument is tall. It displaces 48,000 tons, 3 times the weight of an American Ohio-class sub. It was a machine designed to end the world. But inside, it was designed like a hotel. Welcome to Shadow Works. Today we open the file on the Typhoon Class, the underwater giant that had a sauna, a bird aviary, and enough nuclear firepower to level 200 cities. Why was it so big? Most submarines are simple, one long pressure tube wrapped in a hull. But the Typhoon was a monster. It was actually 2 massive pressure hulls sitting side by side, wrapped in a jagged outer shell. It was an underwater catamaran. The reason for this insane design was the missiles. The Soviet R-39 nuclear missiles were huge, heavy, solid-fuel rockets that wouldn't fit in a standard submarine. So the engineers decided to build the submarine around the missiles. They placed the missile silos between the 2 pressure hulls in a water-filled canyon. This made the sub incredibly wide, but it also made it incredibly safe. If a torpedo hit one side, the crew could survive in the other hull. But the sheer size allowed for something unprecedented in naval history: luxury. Life on a submarine is usually a nightmare. It is cramped, smelly, and hot. Sailors share beds, hot bunking, and don't see the sun for months. The Typhoon was different. Because of the double hull design, there was extra space. The engineers installed a gym, a sauna, a smoking room, and yes, a swimming pool. It was small, about 2 meters deep, but it was filled with fresh seawater. There was even a nature room with artificial grass and live birds in cages. This wasn't because the Soviets were soft. It was because the Typhoon was designed to stay underwater for 120 days at a time. To prevent the crew from going insane, they built them a hotel. But make no mistake, this hotel was a weapon. The Typhoon's mission was to hide in the bastions, the frozen waters of the Arctic Circle. The tower was reinforced with feet of steel and concrete. This allowed the sub to smash through 3 meters of solid ice to surface and launch its missiles. While American hunter-killer subs were searching the open ocean, the Typhoons were sitting quietly under the North Pole, waiting for the order to end civilization. In the end, the Typhoon was killed by the same thing that killed the Soviet Union: money. They were incredibly expensive to maintain. After the Cold War, Russia couldn't afford to keep the swimming pools heated. Of the 6 that were built, 5 were scrapped. The last one, the Dmitry Donskoy, served until 2023 before being decommissioned. The giants are gone. Modern submarines are smaller, quieter, and cheaper. We will never see a machine like the Typhoon again. The Typhoon was a triumph of engineering. But sometimes, engineering fails. And when it fails underwater, it is a tragedy. Join us next time as we investigate the worst submarine disaster in modern history. The story of a torpedo that leaked and a government that lied. Click here to subscribe so you don't miss the Kursk disaster.